Hello, beautiful creative people. This is Kiala Givehand from Givehand Creative, and I'm coming to you today for Book in a Day 19. Wow, we are moving pretty quickly. So, today is Thursday, May 9th, and it is 5:20 in the afternoon, and yeah, it's 5:20 really in p.m. And I'm starting super late, and today is also a pretty special day because a dear friend of mine, Samuel Satin, is releasing his first novel today. He's launching his first novel. He's had readings already and sort of the soft launch of it, but today is the actual Oakland Bay Area. He's gonna read, and people can come and buy books, and he'll sign them, and so it's pretty exciting to go and watch Sam tonight, which I'm going to be doing in about an hour. I'll be leaving a little less than an hour, actually. So I actually have been thinking about the book throughout the day, and I made a decision probably midday or so to make a book using some scrap papers that I have been accumulating. So I'm in these various paint and pass or art journal swaps with different groups, two that are at the Givinghands.ning site, and then one that is over with the Glitterhood and Effie Wiles group over there. So I got I received one of the books from the Paint and Pass over there, and it's Janet is the person that has created this gorgeous book. And as I was flipping through it, I was really taken by how beautifully, well, obviously the art is amazing, but aside from the art, just how she has put the book together. So this centerpiece is actually duct tape, so there's no sewing. It's all folded signatures, and she's using duct tape to keep them all together. And then at the very end, she has duct tape on the binding. And I was like, oh, I actually really kind of like that. I'm one of those people who's never really seen a practical use for duct tape. I'm not taping together any PVC ducts. I don't know, I'm not a plumber or an electrician, or I don't know who uses duct tape like the way it was intended to be used. So even though I have a ton of it, which is crazy, some of it was given to me, gifted to me. Like someone gave me this, a student actually gave me this because I made a comment in class about Duct, D-U-C-T tape, and he was like, oh, you know, there's duct tape, D-U-C-K, and I was like, no, there's no such thing as duct tape, it's D-U-C-T. So we went back and forth about it. Next class period, he brought me this tape, and it actually is D-U-C-K tape, duct tape. So sorry, weird camera stuff happening as usual. So anyway, he brought me this, and let's see, I think this is the one that I did by myself. It's supposed to be mimicking denim. So this one I did actually purchase. These others are like artist tapes. This came in a little gift bag that someone gave me. It's like little miniature duck, and this is the DUC brand. I don't think any of this in here is actually the DUCT brand. Oh wait, maybe. Well, this is Scotch, but it says DUCT. Anyway, so I have all these tapes from various places. I think this purple one, I think my husband might have bought this purple one for me because I was on a purple kick for a while. Still am, I guess. So yeah, so I have all this duct tape, and so when I saw her book, I was like, oh, there's something I could do with duct tape. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some of my old, so what I did is I just kind of went through and found pieces that, so you might remember this piece from the Full Circle book. It was the huge sheet of paper that I did a bunch of stuff to, and then I cut circles out of it to make the Full Circle Flexagon book. And So I'm thinking about using that maybe for the cover because it's thicker. And then I have these other papers that I use for like experimenting. Like for instance, on this little piece, I was experimenting with how to adhere a little mini envelope, and how to stitch using the sewing machine. And I accidentally stitched across, started stitching across here, closing the envelope, which was clearly not my intention. So anyway, it was a failed attempt. And then this one, I think I was sampling tempera paint because I've never used tempera paint, and I thought, oh, I should try that. So this was kind of me trying tempera paint. So the orange and brown is the tempera, and then I sprayed green color wash ink stencil, a new stencil that I got that I wanted to try. So again, it's just like experiment. So yeah, and then on the back of this, again, I think I was experimenting with a stencil, 2 stencils, maybe even 3. There's the new one again. So anyway, and then some different inks. I think these are probably all Dilutions inks that I was spraying on here. This one again was practice sewing. The sewing machine was putting the zigzag on the back, and I couldn't figure out why. I'm like, why is it doing that? What am I doing wrong? If you watched, I don't know, early on I made a file folder book where I did a lot of stitching. It was my first time ever using a sewing machine. Since then, I have fallen in love with sewing on paper. So I've been doing, experimenting with that a lot. So this was an experiment of that. So, and again, the tempera paints. I think I was trying to figure out if tempera paint functions and behaves the same way as acrylic paint. And just, I guess, just trying to get a sense of how it's different because I had never used tempera paint before. A friend of mine was like, of course you have. You used it when you were a kid in school. That's what they gave us the fingerprint paint with. And I was like, yeah, I don't ever remember finger painting as a kid, actually. So anyway, then I think on the back here, I made my own alcohol ink. This purple splatter is what that is. So I was testing that. Then this page, again, tempera paint, trying to sew. This is actually a piece of fabric I was sewing on there, playing around with that. Just testing another stencil, a spiral stencil. And then this is, oh, this is the paper that I have underneath on my desk when I'm doing other stuff, and it gets, I use it to like clean my brush off or spray things on and sample or flip stuff on and dab it. So it's kind of like the, let's see, I took a class with Robin Marie Smith, and she calls it underpaper. I think in bookbinding, when I was taking classes back in 2008, 2009, 2010 with Julie Chen, she called it scrap paper, and I think that that's the terminology I usually use when I'm talking about it, just scrap paper. That goes underneath whatever you're doing. I got gesso on here. I think I got a little bit of modeling paste on here. It looks like some string got stuck to it. Tempera paint, like a bunch of different things. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool to have that maybe be a page in the book that I could journal on. So I'm thinking of this as a journal that I'm actually going to journal on. So this is going to be like an art journal in a day, book in a day, because I'm going to make it into a book using Janet's beautiful duct tape structure here. And then I'm going to actually spend the rest of the evening, I'm going to go to the reading. I'm going to take it with me to the reading, and I'm going to take notes in it. Whenever I go to literary readings, I always am inspired with ideas to write or things I could write about. So I'm going to take it and jot down some thoughts from Sam's reading, which I know is going to be amazing. And then I'm going to journal just sort of about the day, because I've been up since, I don't know, 5:45, 5:30 in the morning. My husband had to travel, and I took him to the train station, and so I've been up for quite some time. And I'm going to just journal. I went and had lunch with my mom. She's leaving in a few days, going back to Florida, so I'm feeling pretty bummed out about that a little bit. But on the flip side, Saturday we are going to Seattle. My nephew Trevor, who is also very much like my son, is graduating college, and it is a pretty big deal because, yeah, it's a big deal. I think college graduations are a big deal anyway, but for Trevor it's even more special. So I'm excited about that, and I get to see my niece Kiala, who I haven't seen in so long. I can't even remember the last time I saw her, which is, man, I can already feel the tears welling up inside of me for when I get to see her. Obviously we communicate, but like physically being in her presence, it's been a while. So I'm looking forward to all of that. So I'm going to journal. I feel like I can fill up all of these pages journaling about all of that today and into the night. So I think what I'm going to do is so I don't really know how Janet did it. I've kind of, I don't want to deconstruct her book. I can't take it apart. So I've just kind of looked inside the seam to try to see what I can tell from what she's done. And so I'm going to do my best rendition, interpretation of what I see here, or what I think she has done based on what I can see from the top of the book and also from the bottom, just kind of looking at how she has it laid out. So I'm going to try and recreate what she's done. Not the same size, because hers is a pretty good size. I mean, that's a pretty good size book. I think most of these papers are probably Canson mixed media paper, with the exception of this. I think it's Fabriano watercolor paper, and I think it's going to have to get cut down some, so which is cool. So I'm going to do all of that super speed. I'm going to do it in regular time and speed it up for you all so that I can get myself over to Sam's reading on time, because I do not want to be late and having to stand in the back. I will be very sad about that. So again, to do a quick time check, it is 5:32 in the afternoon, Thursday, May 9th. And I will see you on the other side of book 19. That was simple enough. 5:58. I don't know, 15 minutes or so, 20 tops. So just to kind of talk through, the book is not done. I don't consider it done yet until I get all my journaling done in it for today, because I've decided it's going to be that kind of book. But what I haven't decided is whether or not, so on Janet's book, she has a piece of duct tape on the binding, on the spine, and it's purely decorative. There's no functional reason, as far as I can tell, for it to be there. It's not holding two pages together. I think it's just decorative. So I'm thinking about whether or not I want to put maybe this pink on the outside just as a decorative piece. But I haven't decided yet, and I have time because, like I said, I'm going to journal before I go. I'm going to do a little bit of journaling about waking up at 5:30 this morning, which is not usual for me because I'm usually going to bed at 3 in the morning. So 5 in the morning means I only got 2 hours of sleep. However, last night I did not stay up until 3, so I guess there's that. So I am going to, I'm going to journal a little bit before I go to the reading. Then I suspect I will take some notes and jot some things down while I'm at the reading. And then I'll come home and journal a little bit more about the day and get these pages, because that's my goal, is for it to be like a 1-day journal. So a sort of a journal of my day. I think I'm going to, if you've been watching the videos, you know that I like rounded corners. So I think I'm going to round the corners because I like that look. And I'm going to think about whether or not I want to put tape. And I guess I could try it. It's duct tape. It comes off pretty easy. I guess I could just try it and see what I like. I think for now, I'm going to leave it as is, go to the reading with it. So again, I don't know if I actually did this the way Janet did. When I look at it structurally, it kind of looks the same, but I really have no way of knowing. I'm going to have to get in touch with Janet and find out exactly what she did. But I think, based on, one of the things I'm noticing is mine isn't closing as well as hers, but also she has super heavy duty. This has to be like 190-pound paper, plus there's paint all over it, the pages that we've all done. So I don't know. We'll see. So, okay, I will be back. I will check back in after the reading tonight, show you what kind of journaling I've done in the book, and I might do something to this page. This blank whiteness is a little frightening, so I might put some color on this, something simple like maybe use an ink pad or something to just get some color down on the page. I don't want to use any wet media right now because I'm leaving the house in less than 30 minutes to go to the reading, so it won't really have time to dry. So we'll see what I end up doing, but I will check back in with you later this evening, and I'll see you back here. Okay, we're back, and the time is 4:09, and that will be in the morning. Yes, 4:09 in the morning. It's been a very long day, and I am wide awake, and that's a problem, that I'm wide awake. So I decided to hang out with friends after the reading, and in doing that, just because the book was technically done in terms of structure being put together and all that, but I wanted to add content to it. I wanted to chronicle the full day, and so I knew I had to make a choice. I could hang out with friends that I haven't seen in a while and just have some quality time with, folks I love and adore, or I could come home and finish the book and, be done in a reasonable hour. And apparently you see the one I chose. And it was amazing to catch up with folks. Sam's reading was amazing. His book is amazing. It's just been a great a great evening. So yeah, so the book is done, and I titled it, so the name of the series is A Book in a Day, and this book is called A Day in a Book. So I chronicled just my day, starting with 5:30 in the morning, having to get up and take my husband to the train for the catch so he could get to the airport, and then just sort of chronicle my day and what all sort of went down today. And it's incomplete in terms of the day ran out. There was nothing else to say about the day. So I may, I don't know, maybe later I'll come back and add little snippets like receipts. Maybe I'll print out a picture of Sam at his reading and add that in here. So yeah, I might add a few little snippets in here just to, I don't know, make it an actual true, record of the day. So you'll see that I added some color here, and that was just using the Ranger Big and Juicy pad that has this gradated rainbow color palette in it. And I thought the blue and greens matched pretty nicely with the page, the facing pages. I added the colophon. I added a little strip for the title, and then at the bottom like a little book plate with my name and today's date. I rounded the corners, which I had talked about doing. And yeah, I really like this book actually. It's a pretty neat structure in terms of the duct tape's holding everything together. No need for sewing. This is an excellent and amazing option for working with kids because it's just tape. There's no... and I think you saw me in the video cutting the tape using like an X-Acto, but I didn't have to do that. I could have had wider pieces. I could have just had an entire, wider piece. It would have taken away space on the page, but, if you're working with kids and you don't want them to use X-Actos, you can either buy the really skinny tape, which I think can be purchased. I don't really know, but I'm assuming it can be purchased. This size already sort of cut down. You don't have to worry about kids needing to cut. But I feel like this is a good structure for kids to learn how to use because it's easy and simple to do. And literally can be done. I think the actual putting together of the book took me, 20 minutes to do that. That included the folding and the taping. Obviously my pages were colored long before because they're all scraps or whatever, but yeah, this is a great structure for that, or just for yourself to do something simple. As a matter of fact, I think I'll make another one for when I travel to Seattle this weekend for Trevor's graduation. Just sort of chronicle the weekend. Yeah, so that sounds like a neat idea to do. It's an quick and easy book to make. So I think that's really about all I have to say about book 19. It is done. Next week I'll be doing book 20. 20 is amazing because I have a list of things that I said I would do for myself if I made it to book 20, and I am a few days away from it actually, so a week away. So that should be interesting to see what comes of that. My husband and I are going to do a big celebratory dinner or something to celebrate getting to number 20, because even though 20 isn't halfway yet, it's very close to half. So yeah, that's it for Book in a Day 19. Upcycling of the artwork and finally finding a way to use my duct tape. And then I got to use some of my favorite pens in here, and yeah, it was just really cool. Really cool. So I thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you over at the Ning site, especially if you're making these books. I'd love to see your pictures of yours, so drop on over to the Ning group and share with us. And yeah, be on the lookout for an upcoming giveaway. more about that during week 20. And I think that's about it. Yeah, I'm rambling because it's really late. So thank you for watching, for subscribing, and go out and create something beautiful.